What up, Juggernaut Strength, Juggalos, and anyone following the Strength Lab Q&As? Good response so far, happy with it, so I'll continue doing these. Having a good time with it. So, question today is from Paul. I can't remember what I wrote down for your last name because I have shitty handwriting. So Paul, he's interested in using his hips to throw the hammer. He's using all upper body power swing, tips for doing this correctly. This is a big mistake that most of the guys make, especially coming into the game, so that you're trying to throw the hammer with your upper body, and you can't. You're not going to be able to throw it well. That's why we use blades. That's why we do things like that, so you can anchor into the ground and actually use the giant muscles in your legs to leave your arms loose as possible and throw with pushing your hips. What I recommend to start getting a feel for that is if you're not throwing blades, start throwing blades. If you don't think you're good enough to start throwing blades, get fucking blades anyway. It's time to get better at it. No one's gonna throw far without them. You may think you're throwing far, but you're not. That's why Dan McKim's throwing with blades. That's why everyone in the top 10 is throwing with blades, because it's the better way to do it. Don't think that, and it's a totally different throw. So get blades. Sorry, that rant's over with. So basically, you're leaving your arms really long, and you want to be driving with your hip, and that's what's going to keep accelerating the ball. I talk about this in my book quite a bit. Basically, as soon as you are trying to use your arms and you're going to be strong with it, your arms are going to shorten, the radius on the hammer is going to shorten, and you're not going to throw it as far. Tight muscles are really slow muscles. So the longer and looser you can leave your arms, the better the tacky stick is, that you don't have to squeeze your hands. You can just push with your feet and get it around, and your arms stay really long, which increases the radius, which increases speed on the end of the ball. Think about pulling with your feet, sinking, and pushing your ass back and changing the orbit and sitting against the ball, and that's where your hips are going to start coming into play. What I recommend to do to get used to doing this, Larry Brock threw with a hammer on a wire. Well, not a wire, but like a chain. So he built a handle, ran a chain out of it, and went to the hammerhead. And he was saying, to do this, you've got to constantly be accelerating. As soon as you have a drag or a spot where you're not catching it, you're going to lose power, and then it's going to fall and catch and get really clunky, which is going to be shit. So for your average guy who's not building equipment and you have a hammer, I recommend start doing swings, like do winds of say 10 winds. Start really slow and leave your arms just as dead as possible, and feel yourself transfer from foot to foot as you're pulling it, and start trying to feel on how you can accelerate the ball using your feet instead of your hands. You countering the implement is what's going to make it throw further. So that's what I recommend for using your hips. There's not some secret lift or any type of secret technique. It's going to take a ton of fucking reps to get good at it. I'm still not great at the hammer. Occasionally I have a moment where it goes well. So we're all still working on it. Watch a lot of videos, see what those guys are doing different than you. Again, increasing the radius is what's going to be the best, so leaving your arms loose and throwing with your hips and legs is going to be the key. Paul, thanks for the question. Check out my stuff, subscribe to the videos, and I'll be doing more of these. Check out my books at JTSStrength and MattVincent.net.